My beloved child, before you take one more step on this journey, let your soul become still beneath my light. Do not be quick to look at the things you still lack, and do not be quick to measure your life by the times you have fallen. There have been voices that pass through you like a cold wind, saying that you are not good enough, not strong enough, not pure enough, not worthy enough to be loved and called. But my child, those voices do not sit upon the throne. They have no authority to define you. I am the one who knew you before you were formed. I am the one who saw you in the secret place and called you by a name no one can erase. As it is written, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you before you were born. I set you apart. Jeremiah 15. Therefore, do not bow your head before old memories as though they were the final sentence over your life. The past may tell what you have gone through, but it is not permitted to write in place of what I have appointed for you. I know there are seasons when you are not only weary because of outward circumstances, but also exhausted because of the silent battle within your own heart. You look at the wound and think it is your nature. You look at failure and think it is your identity. You hear the judgments of others and unconsciously wear those words like a familiar garment. But my beloved child, I do not see you through the dust of yesterday. I see you through my covenant of love. When you are weak, I do not despise you. I lift you up. When you tremble, I do not turn away. I draw near. When you no longer have enough strength to believe in yourself, I still hold fast to the word I have spoken over your life. As it is written, a bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not snuff out. Isaiah 42:3. Do you see? My heart is not like the heart of the world. I do not cast aside what is weak. I restore what is still breathing with fragile hope. Therefore, learn to look at yourself again with eyes washed clean by grace. You are not an accident that wandered into this world. You are not a meaningless life trying to find a little worth in the recognition of others. I have placed depths within you that even you have not yet fully discovered. There are abilities lying asleep, waiting for the day they are awakened. There are testimonies being formed from tears. There are holy seeds lying beneath the quiet soil that you thought was darkness. A seed does not die simply because it has been buried often. That very hidden place is where life begins to break open. As it is written, unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. John 20:24. There are things I allow you to pass through, not to bury you, but to cause something deeper, stronger, and truer within you to spring forth. My child, remember the story of Gideon. When I came to him, he was not standing in the midst of a mighty army, nor was he confidently declaring himself to be a deliverer. He was threshing wheat in a hidden place, living in fear of the enemy, seeing himself as small within a small family. But my angel called him by a name he himself had not yet dared to believe. The Lord is with you, mighty warrior. Judges 60:12. Do you see? I did not call Gideon according to his fear, but according to what I had placed within him. I did not wait for him to feel strong before calling him strong. I spoke his identity first, then led him into that truth. It is the same with you. I do not call you by the name of your wounds, disappointments, or failures. I call you by the name of grace, of being chosen, of purpose, and of new life. And when you begin to rise in that light, you will understand that your victory is not a performance meant to prove you are better than others. True victory does not begin with your own strength, but with my life working within you. There are days when you are still weak and yet choose what is right. That is victory. There are moments when you want to give up, yet still whisper a small prayer to me. That is victory. There are temptations that pull you back toward the old path. But you stop, weep before me, and do not return to the darkness. That is victory. As it is written, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit. Zechariah 46, you do not walk alone. What lifts you up is not only your willpower, but my hand beneath your life, my breath within your soul, and my love that is more enduring than all your weakness. Do not think that because you are still being restored, you are not yet loved. Do not think that because there are still parts of you that have not matured. I stand far away for you to become perfect before I draw near. A shepherd does not love the sheep only when it is clean and has not gone astray. The shepherd loves it so much that he goes searching for it among the hills, lifts it onto his shoulders, and brings it home with joy. Did my son not speak of the shepherd who left the 99 behind to search for the one that was lost, that reveals my heart to you? I do not measure love by the cold calculations of mankind. I do not rejoice when you wander, but neither am I disgusted by you when you need to be found again. I am the Father, and the Father's love is not as fragile as human emotion. Therefore, when loneliness comes and whispers that you have been abandoned, answer it with the truth. Feelings may change from day to day, but my word does not shift with the weather of your soul. When you see yourself passing through the valley, that does not mean I am absent. David did not say that he avoided every valley, but he declared, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm 23:4, my beloved child, my presence does not always remove the difficult road immediately, but that presence turns the difficult road into a place where you are no longer swallowed up. I am with you in the slow step, in the trembling breath, in the prayer that cannot form a complete sentence. In the nights when all you can do is remain silent and turn your heart toward me, let this be anchored firmly within you. No word of condemnation is stronger than my forgiveness. No dark season is deeper than my light, and no distance is far enough that my love cannot reach it. The things that oppose you may wound you, but they cannot separate you from me. The things you lose may grieve you, but they cannot steal from you the spiritual portion I have placed within you. As it is written, I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor powers, neither the present nor the future, neither height nor depth will be able to separate us from the love of God. Romans 83:8-39. That word is not merely a beautiful saying meant to comfort you for a passing moment. It is a wall around your soul, a mantle covering your trembling, an eternal seal upon the one who belongs to me. So today, rise not with pride but with faith. Keep walking not because you understand everything but because you know who is holding your hand. Stop asking the past for permission to live, for I have already given you new life. Stop waiting for people to confirm your worth, for I have already called you mine. Stop shrinking your soul to fit narrow words, for I created you for a purpose greater than fear. You are my beloved child, kept, guided, restored, and sent forth, and day by day as you remain in me. What I have placed within you will grow like the dawn. At first only a small streak of light, but then it will shine brighter until your heart understands that I was never mistaken when I chose you, never weary when I loved you, and never let go of the story I am writing by grace upon your life. My beloved child, do not look at this season of waiting as a meaningless gap between the promise and its fulfillment. There are things I do not only to give you an outward miracle, but to build within you a living sign, a breathing witness who knows how to love, how to rise after brokenness, and how to shine after long nights. You thought you were waiting for me to bring something to you, but I am doing something deeper. I am transforming you from within so that your life may become an answer for other souls who are also trembling, also searching for the way, also needing to see that grace can still restore a human being. As it is written, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. That light is not outward perfection, but my life revealed through a heart that was once wounded, yet is no longer ruled by its wounds. Before you speak a word, I have already heard the sigh from the deepest place within you. Before you are brave enough to name your fear, I already know its shape. Not one of your tears falls without my seeing it, and not one small joy rises within you that I consider insignificant. I do not love you with a distant love, like a star high in the heavens. I love you with the nearness of the one who knows every heartbeat, every thought, every crack in your soul that has not yet had time to heal. As it is written, you have kept count of my wanderings. Put my tears in your bottle. Psalm 56:8. Do you see? Even the things you thought had dissolved into silence are kept by me, to me. Your life is not a series of scattered details. It is a story I am writing with mercy, with patience, and with a holy intention that has never lost its way. Therefore, do not think that what you have gone through is only loss. There are wounds that, when placed in my hands, will no longer be places that imprison you, but doors through which mercy can flow. There are seasons when you thought you were merely trying to survive, but I was quietly teaching you compassion, endurance, discernment, and a kind of gentleness that those who have never been wounded can hardly understand. As it is written, God is the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort. He comforts us in all our troubles, so that we may also comfort others. 2 Corinthians 1:3-4. What I heal within you is not meant for you alone. One day the very place that once made you weep will become the place from which you know how to bend down and lift others with the same tenderness. I used to lift you among all the things I know about. What I want you never to forget is what I have done for you. I did not merely stand far away and advise you to be strong. I stepped into the fragile condition of humanity, bore the burden you could not carry on your own, and opened the way you could not open for yourself before you knew how to seek me. My love had already sought you first while you were still lost in darkness. My light had already set out toward you. As it is written, the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Luke 19:10. That love is not a reward for those who have become perfect, but grace that comes to those who need to be saved. You are loved not because you have never done wrong, but because I have chosen to set my mercy upon you. And the sacrifice of Christ is the eternal seal that you have not been abandoned in sin, fear, or shame. Because of this, you no longer have to live as someone dragged along by the past. When I forgive, I do not merely cancel a debt, I open a new identity. When I redeem, I do not merely bring you out of chains. I teach you to walk as one who is free. There are memories that still try to call you by your old name, and regrets that still want to pull you back to the place from which you have already been delivered. But remember what is written. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. You do not need to deny that you have been hurt, that you have stumbled, or that you have wandered. But neither must you forget that my grace is greater than all of it. The truth about you does not end where you fell. The truth about you continues where I lifted you up. Every morning when you open your eyes is not merely another repetition of yesterday. It is an invitation to step into resurrection in the smallest things. A renewed thought, a purer choice, a more honest prayer, a step away from darkness, one more act of trusting me, even while your heart still trembles. The freedom I give is not an idea suspended high above, far removed from your everyday life. It enters the way you see yourself, the way you release what defiles you, the way you stop living under the rule of condemnation, and the way you learn to receive the peace I purchased at such a costly price. As it is written, it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you is not just a verse for Jesus, it is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. Therefore, Galatians 5:1, standing firm does not mean you are never weak. It means you do not return to calling chains your home. And then, as I continue to complete what I have begun in you, you will realize that your journey was never meant for you alone. I saved you so that you might live. But I also make you live so that through you others may see hope. I heal you so that you may be made whole. But I also cause that healing to release its fragrance like precious oil for weary souls. I preserved you through seasons that felt impossible to endure, so that one day you could testify that my hand is not too short. My mercy is not exhausted, and the night cannot overcome my dawn. As it is written, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. Philippians 1:6. My beloved child, I am not finished with you. I am building you day by day without haste, without omission, without forgetting. Let me lead you through every step, every hour, every season. For what I am doing within you will not only make you free, but will also cause your life to become a gentle invitation for many others to return to life. My beloved child, before you knew where to return, before you had the strength to name what your soul was longing for, I had already gone searching for you. My love did not begin on the day you became strong, nor did it start when you learned how to correct yourself and appear upright before the eyes of the world. That love set out while you were still lost, while you were still carrying hidden darkness within your heart that you did not dare to open, while you still believed you had to pay off every mistake by yourself before you could draw near to me. But my child, grace does not wait until you are clean before it touches you. Grace comes in order to cleanse you. Mercy does not stand outside the wound and judge it. Mercy steps into the deepest place of pain to heal it. As it is written, the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Luke 19:10. And that word is not only for a crowd from long ago, but also the call I have placed upon your very story. You were not forgotten in the darkness. You have been found by a love that never grows weary. Therefore, do not look at my sacrifice as an old story meant only to be heard and felt for a brief moment. The cross is not a distant symbol hanging at the edge of memory. It is the place where my love spoke through blood, declaring that you were worth redeeming so deeply that I did not spare myself. I did not save you with empty words, nor comfort you with fragile promises, nor tell you to climb out of the abyss on your own before I would reach out my hand. I came down into the very place from which you could not escape by yourself. I bore what was heavier than your strength, drank the cup you could not drink, and opened the way that sin, fear, and death had once blocked. As it is written, he was wounded for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. By his stripes we are healed. Isaiah 53:5. Let that word enter the very places in your heart that still accuse themselves. Because where I have paid the full price, you do not need to keep living as though that debt were still hanging over your head. Perhaps there are still memories within you trying to rise up and testify against you. They remind you of the things you once did wrong, the seasons when you were weak, the words you wish you had never spoken, the doors you once walked through without discernment. But my beloved child, memory is not the highest judge. The final truth about you is not found in the record of your past, but in the word I have spoken over you through redemption. When I forgive, I do not write a temporary hope in fading ink. I seal it with an eternal covenant. As it is written, I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Jeremiah 31:34. What I no longer use to condemn you, do not continue to hold on to, in order to torment yourself. Repentance is returning to the light, not remaining in ashes and calling it humility. Remember the prodigal son, my child. He left his father's house, wasted his portion, lost his dignity in a foreign place, and eventually became so impoverished that he longed to eat the food of the pigs. Perhaps he thought he was only worthy to return as a hired servant, hoping merely to stand at the edge of his father's house without daring to receive again the place of a son. But while he was still far off, the father saw him, was moved with compassion, ran to him, embraced him, and kissed him. The father did not make him read through the full indictment before allowing him into the house. He ordered the best robe, the ring, and the sandals to be brought, and then prepared a feast of joy. Is that not the image of my heart? I do not rejoice that you once wandered, but I rejoice beyond measure when you return. I do not call you a hired servant if I have brought you forth in love. I restore the robe, restore the identity, restore the table. Because in my house, grace does not only forgive, it returns you to your rightful place of being loved. From that place, understand that the newness I give is not a coat of paint placed over a life that is still decaying within. I do not merely cover old scars so that you may appear more acceptable before the world. I recreate you from the roots. I place within you a new heart, a new breath, a new ability to love what is pure. Choose what is righteous and step out of the cycles that once exhausted you. As it is written, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. Ezekiel 36. Arulu, that renewal may begin very quietly. One day when you no longer desire to return to the old place. One moment when you learn to pause before anger. One instant when you choose prayer instead of despair. One morning when you wake and realize you no longer want to live under the name of your wound. Do not despise small beginnings, for I often place the dawn within very slender rays of light before the whole sky becomes bright. My beloved child, what once bound, You may have been accustomed to speaking loudly, but it no longer has the right to rule. Chains may leave marks for a time, but marks are not chains. There will be old habits that try to call you back, old fears that pretend to be truth, and words of condemnation that dress themselves in morality to make you believe you are not yet free. But stand in my word, for where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17. Freedom does not mean you no longer need me. Freedom means you no longer have to live under your former master. Freedom is not running after everything the flesh desires, but having the power to say no to darkness and yes to life. Each time you choose the light, even with one small trembling step, you are testifying that the power of the old has been broken. Therefore, do not let yesterday give orders to your today. Do not let old ashes convince you that nothing beautiful can ever grow again. I am the gardener, even over ground that seems to have been burned dry. I can turn the place that was once ruined into a foundation for wisdom, the place that was once shame into a testimony of mercy, and the place that was once tangled into a song of faithfulness. As it is written, He gives a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of heaviness. Isaiah 6:1-3. Do you see, I do not only take away what caused you to collapse, I also clothe you with what enables you to stand upright in a new dignity. I do not only rescue you from the pit, I also teach you to walk on solid ground, with eyes that know how to see the future through my light. And as you enter into that new life, be patient with the process I am carrying out within you. Do not mistake maturity for a moment of emotion that rises suddenly and then fades away. True renewal is like a seed growing in the soil, quiet, steady, ordered, nourished by light and living water. There will be days when you see that you have come very far, and there will be days when you realize you still need to be supported more than you thought. But that does not make me disappointed in you. I am the Father, not a cold supervisor. I rejoice in every step you take back toward me. Every time you choose honesty, every word you speak to me from a heart that is poor yet sincere. As it is written, He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. Philippians 1:6. That work is mine, and I do not abandon what my hand has begun. So lift up your head in humility and peace. You do not need to live like someone asking the past for permission to be free. You do not need to stand outside the threshold of grace as though you were only worthy to look in from afar. The door has been opened by my love. The way has been prepared by my sacrifice. The light has called your name, not to blind you and make you afraid, but to lead you step by step out of the old place and into true life. Receive the new identity I have given you. Let your heart learn how to breathe again in grace. Let your feet grow accustomed to the path of freedom. And whenever the darkness reminds you of who you once were, answer it with what I have done. I have sought you, redeemed you, forgiven you, made you new. And I will continue to lead you until the light within you becomes a gentle testimony that no life is too far away from my love to bring home. I know that you often want to understand everything before you dare to take a step. You want to see the whole road, to know the outcome, to be certain that every decision will not lead you into pain. But my child, if you only walk when everything is clear, then you are living by the assurance of what your eyes can see, and you have not yet learned to rest in my guidance. Faith is not closing your eyes and rushing into the darkness. Faith is holding the hand of the one who sees clearly what you cannot yet see. As it is written, Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. There are stretches of the road that I do not reveal fully from the beginning, not to confuse you, but to teach your heart that true safety is not found in the map, but in the one who is walking with you. You do not need to know every turn in order to have peace. You only need to know that I never lead you carelessly, and my love will never abandon you halfway. Therefore, when you open your heart and surrender control to me, you do not lose yourself as fear once whispered. On the contrary, you are brought back to the true nature I created within you. Surrender does not make you small. It frees you from the burden of trying to be the Lord of your own life. When you stop trying to grip every outcome with weary hands, I begin to place within your heart a wisdom that does not come from human calculation, a strength that is not drained by emotion, and a peace that does not depend on everything unfolding according to your will. As it is written, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives generously to all. James 1:5. You may lack experience, but you do not lack guidance if you remain near me. You may not have enough endurance, but you are not abandoned if you know how to lean into grace. What I give you is not only an answer, but a life that knows how to listen, how to discern, and how to walk in step with the Holy Spirit. And my beloved child, the words I have spoken over you do not grow weaker, because today you feel weak. My promise is not based on your mood, is not shaken by the days when you doubt, and does not lose its power, because you have not yet seen the result before your eyes. I am not like mankind, promising an emotion and then forgetting when circumstances change. As it is written, God is not a man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he should change his mind. Has he spoken, and will he not do it? Numbers 20:19. When I place a word within your soul, that word is like a seed sown into the ground. At times, the surface remains silent and you think nothing is happening. But in the hidden place, roots are finding their way. Life is gathering strength and the season is being prepared. Do not pull up what I have planted simply because you are impatient to see the fruit. Some promises need time to grow deep enough so that when they blossom, no wind can easily tear them down. Therefore, do not let old failures rise up like a wall blocking your path. What you call an interruption, I can turn into preparation. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. What you thought was a delay, I can use to deepen your roots. What you see as loss, I can transform into the birthplace of a wisdom no school could ever teach. Remember Moses, my child. He had once acted in anger, had fled. He had lived for many years in the wilderness, as though the dream of delivering his people had come to an end. But the wilderness was not the final period. It was the place where I softened a leader, taught him to listen, taught him to depend, taught him no longer to rely on his own strength. At the appointed time, I appeared to him in the bush that burned and was not consumed, and I called him back to a mission greater than what he had once imagined. As it is written, I will be with you. Exodus 3:12. Do you see what made Moses able to go was not his self-confidence but my presence? It is the same with you. The past has no authority to declare that I am finished with you. Perhaps you are looking at the parts of your life that seem tangled and wondering how they could ever become something beautiful. But I am the one who can weave tangled threads into a garment of glory. I did not create betrayal in order to wound you, but I can make sure betrayal does not destroy your purpose. I do not rejoice in your tears, but I can turn those tears into water for the seeds of your future. Joseph passed through the pit, the house of slavery, false accusation, and the prison. Yet not one of those places was beyond my sight. When the time came, what seemed to bury him became the path that brought him into a position to save many lives. Therefore, do not be quick to draw conclusions about your life while the story is still being written by me. As it is written, all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:28. All things does not mean all things are pleasant. It means nothing is permitted to stand outside the reach of my redeeming power. In the seasons when you have not yet seen the result, guard your faith like one who watches over a lamp in the night. Do not let passing emotions become the leader of your soul. There will be days when you feel strong, and there will be days when you have only enough strength to whisper a very small prayer. Yet I am there on both kinds of days. Faith is not always a blazing emotion. It is the decision to place your trembling hand in mine and take one more step in obedience. As it is written, the righteous shall live by faith. Habakkuk 2:4. To live by faith means you do not allow your present circumstances to become the final prophecy over your future. To live by faith means you see the wind yet still remember the one who has authority to speak to the wind. To live by faith means you do not understand everything, yet still say, Father, I trust you more than what I can explain. So today, stop measuring your journey by what your eyes can currently see. Let my word carry more weight than the delay. Let my presence become greater than your confusion. Let my faithfulness stand higher than the failures that once made you ashamed. I do not demand that you become someone who is never weak. I invite you to become someone who knows how to lean on me when weakness comes. I do not tell you to create light by yourself. I call you to walk in my light. I do not need you to understand everything before you obey. I only need you to trust that your Father is good. And when you trust in this way, each small step you take will be sanctified. Every season of waiting will be filled with meaning, and every crack will become a place through which light can pass. My beloved child, keep walking. I am leading you not only toward a better outcome, but toward a heart that is deeper, freer, and more steadfast in me. And what I have planted within you in its proper season will bloom into fruit beyond anything you once dared to ask or imagine. My beloved child, there will come a day when you realize that true peace is not when every wind has stopped blowing, nor when every problem has been resolved in the way you expected. True peace is when even while the storm is still roaring, your soul still has a place to lean, when everything outside is still moving in chaos, but within you, there is a holy quiet kept by me. You once thought you could only be still when circumstances were still, could only hope when the road was bright, could only believe when every sign was favorable. But I am teaching you a deeper maturity. You can stand firm, not because the sea has stopped moving, but because the one who created the sea is in the boat with you. As it is written, you will keep in perfect peace the one whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Isaiah 26:3. That peace does not come from your ability to control everything, but from knowing that you are being held by a hand that never trembles. There are nights when you feel as though you are being swallowed by the sound of the wind, by rushing thoughts, by the anxiety of tomorrow, and by questions that have not yet found their answers. But my child, storms are not always a sign that I am absent. Sometimes it is in the very midst of the storm that you learn to recognize my voice more clearly than every other sound. The disciples were once on the sea in a raging storm, thinking the boat was about to sink. While Christ was there with them, they were afraid. But he rose and commanded the winds and the sea to be still. As it is written, he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and it was completely calm. Matthew 8:26. Understand this. I not only have authority to command the circumstances around you, I also have authority to speak stillness into the deepest place within your heart. There are times when I calm the storm outside. There are times when I calm the storm within first, so that you may know my power is not limited by what your eyes can see. Therefore, each morning when you wake, do not only check whether the problem has disappeared, but listen to how hope is still being kindled by me within your heart. Perhaps not every question has been answered. Perhaps the door has not yet opened. Perhaps the things you have prayed for are still in process. But if I am still with you, then the new day is not a hopeless repetition of the old one. It is another invitation for you to breathe in grace, walk in guidance, and believe that I am working even when you have not yet seen clear signs. As it is written, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Lamentations 3:2-23. You do not need to carry the whole burden of your entire life into one morning. You only need to receive the portion of grace I give you for today. Then take one more step with me. I want you to look beyond the surface of what is happening. There are limits you can see with your eyes, but I see the road beyond those limits. There are walls that make you think everything has come to an end. But before me, that wall is only a place where power will be revealed. You often ask, how can this change? But I want you to learn to ask another question. Father, what do you want me to believe about you in this place? For I am not only the one who helps you get through hardship, I am the one who renews you in the very process of passing through it. As it is written, God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3:20. That power is not only ahead of you as some future event. That power is working within you now, quietly breaking fear, softening bitterness, awakening trust, and rebuilding the places that once collapsed. My beloved child, resurrection is not only a great event in sacred history, it is also the current of life. I continue to move within those who belong to me. Each time you choose forgiveness instead of allowing resentment to take root, resurrection is touching you. Each time you refuse to let despair write the final sentence, resurrection is breathing within you. Each time you leave behind an old habit, an old word, an old way of reacting, and step into something purer, the power of resurrection is teaching you to live as one who has been set free. As it is written, if the Spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies. Romans 8:11. You are no longer someone locked inside the tomb of the past. The stone has been rolled away. The light has called your name. And every day you follow me is another day you learn to live in that new reality. Remember Peter, my child, the one who stepped down from the boat. when he heard the Lord's voice calling, "Come." The surface of the water did not become hard like stone before he stepped out. The wind was still blowing. The waves were still moving, and every natural reasoning could have said that such a thing was impossible. But in the moment, he fixed his eyes on the one who called him. He walked upon what should have swallowed him. When he became afraid and began to sink, the hand of the Lord immediately took hold of him. That story does not only teach you about the boldness of faith, it also teaches you about my kindness when your faith trembles. As it is written, immediately Jesus reached out his hand and took hold of him. Matthew 14:30-31. Do you see? I do not wait until you have sunk deep before rebuking you. I reach out my hand. I lift you up. I teach you to look back at me. Therefore, do not be afraid to step simply because you know you are still weak. What matters is not that you have never wavered, but that you know how to call upon the one who will not let you sink. There are also times when the miracle does not unfold before you move. I know you want the waters to part first before you place your foot down, to see the dry path appear before you believe that I have truly spoken. But my child, mature faith is often revealed in the very moment you step forward in obedience while the waters are still rising. When Joshua led my people to the Jordan River, the waters were overflowing their banks, and before them stood something they could not cross by their own strength. But when the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant set their feet in the water, only then did the river stop and the way was opened, as it is written. When those who carried the ark came to the Jordan, and the feet of the priests carrying the ark were dipped in the edge of the water, the waters coming down from upstream stood still. Joshua 3:15-16. My beloved child, there are paths that only appear when you obey. There are waters that only stop when the feet of faith touch them. I do not tell you to step because you are capable enough. I tell you to step because I have gone before you. Therefore, do not let emotion become the scale by which you measure my presence. There will be days when you feel me near like breath, and there will be days when your heart feels so dry that even prayer becomes difficult. But my nearness is not determined by how strongly you can feel it. The sun remains there even when clouds cover it. And I remain with you even when your emotions have not yet recognized it. As it is written, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. Let that word stand firmer than your feelings. Let my covenant be stronger than the hours when your heart wavers. You do not need to create my presence through intense emotion. You only need to turn your heart back to what has always been true. I am here. I know you, I keep you, and I am leading you through even the places your natural eyes cannot read. My beloved child, it is time for you to stop seeing yourself as a shadow lost in an undefined crowd, as a soul drifting along with nameless events, as though your life were only a patchwork of chance, loss and turns that no one can explain. Before you knew how to call me Father, I knew your name. Before you could understand your worth, I placed upon you a seal that marks you as mine. Your name has not been lost in the vast current of life, nor has it been erased by the seasons when you were weak. As it is written, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49:16. Do you see? I do not remember you with a passing thought. I hold you in the place nearest to my mercy. When the world calls you by what you lack, I call you by what I have placed within you. When the past calls you by your mistakes, I call you by grace. When fear calls you forgotten, I call you my beloved child. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. people can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. There are things you once did not understand, unexpected turns in the road. Times when you lost what you thought you could not live without. Doors that closed and caused your heart to quietly resent them. But my child, not everything you do not understand is evidence that I am absent. Some threads in the hand of the weaver look tangled when seen from the back. But when the tapestry is turned over, you will see an image prepared with patient wisdom. I am weaving your life in that way. No tear is regarded lightly by me. No season of waiting is thrown into forgetfulness, and no wound is beyond my power to turn into a place where light can pass through. As it is written, those who sow in tears shall reap with shouts of joy. Psalm 126:5. Your tears are not the final period. In my hands, they can become seeds for a harvest that today you cannot yet imagine. From today onward, I want you to learn to see your life not only through the eyes of one who has been wounded, but through the eyes of one who is being led. Your mind can analyze the small fragments, but faith helps you recognize my hand within the larger picture. You do not need to deny reality in order to have faith. You only need to refuse to let your present reality become the final limit of my power. As it is written, so we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. 2 Corinthians 14:18. There are movements I am making in the hidden place. There are doors that have not yet opened. Not because I have forgotten, but because I am preparing both you and what lies beyond those doors. There are promises that seem to be asleep, but in truth, they are taking deeper root in the soil of my appointed time. My child, do not be quick to judge the journey by today's stretch of the road alone. There are small steps that heaven considers very great because they are taken in obedience. There are days when you do nothing visibly remarkable, yet you still do not return to the darkness. That is a step within my pathway. There are times when you stand before fear and still choose to pray. That is a seed of faith. There are seasons when you hear no applause, yet remain faithful in what I have entrusted to you. That is where the roots are deepened. As it is written, the Lord makes firm the steps of the righteous, and he delights in their way. Psalm 37:23. I do not only look at the destination. I am with you in every step, every quiet decision, every time you choose to believe when your eyes have not yet seen. And if there are moments when you feel as though you are walking alone, let this truth sustain your heart. I have never let go of your hand. There have been human hands that released you, relationships that promised to stay and then broke apart, places where you once found shelter that no longer had strength enough to cover you. But I am not like those things. My love does not shift with the seasons, does not diminish when you are weak, and does not withdraw when you need to be restored. As it is written, though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken. Isaiah 54:10. You may pass through change, but you do not pass outside my covenant. You may enter unfamiliar territory, but you do not step outside my presence. You may not yet understand the route, but the hand leading you is still the same hand that has kept you until now. Therefore, lift up your head not with pride, but with the dignity of one who has been called by name. Stop living as though you must ask the past for permission to enter the future. Stop bending down to pick up accusations whose power I have already broken over you. Let the identity I give you become the ground beneath your feet. Let faith become the light in your eyes. Let hope become the breath in every morning you wake. What I give you does not come from the temporary approval of people, so people cannot take it away. What I have sown within you does not die simply because winter lasts long. For every seed that belongs to me knows how to sprout in its appointed season. And as you move forward, every piece of your life that seems scattered will gradually find its place in the symphony. I am writing, my beloved child. I am leading you with an unchanging love and an intention that does not make mistakes. The things unseen today are no less real than the things you are looking at now. The doors I am preparing are not delayed simply because you have not yet recognized them. The promises I have placed within your heart have not disappeared just because time has tested you. Walk by faith, listen with your spirit, and trust that your Father knows the way clearly. One day you will look back and realize that no detail was wasted. No tear was forgotten, and no turning point ever stood outside. My redeeming power and your life from the places that were once shattered to the seasons that were restored will rise like a song between earth and heaven, testifying that I have called your name, kept you, led you, and will complete the good work I began in you. My beloved child, there is a gentle truth your heart has not always recognized in the days when you thought you were walking alone. Your journey of faith is not taking place in a cold emptiness, nor is it swallowed up in the silence of time. Those who went before you in faith, those souls who completed their portion of the road and now rest in my light, have not been erased like old names in human memory. They do not look at you with the limited eyes of the flesh. They do not measure you by temporary stumbles. They do not draw conclusions about your life based on one season of weakness. In the light of eternity, they see more clearly what you are still learning to believe. I am carrying out a holy work within you. As it is written, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with endurance the race set before us. Hebrews 12:1. That word does not place upon your shoulders the pressure to perform strength. It places beneath your feet a deep encouragement. You are not the first to pass through the night, and you will not be the last whom I bring into the dawn. Therefore, when you look at your life and see only fragments that have not yet come together, slow down before condemning yourself. There are stretches of the road that look like interruptions in your eyes, but in my hands, they are necessary transitions in a greater song. There are decisions you regret, seasons when you fell out of rhythm, moments when you wept because you thought everything had fallen apart. But I do not look at your life like someone standing powerless before ruins. I look at it as the weaver holding every thread, knowing how to place both light and dark colors in their proper places until at last the picture takes the shape of grace. As it is written, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. The fact that you do not yet see the whole does not mean the whole does not exist. The fact that you do not understand one part does not mean that part is meaningless. I am the one who can turn scattered pieces into lines of design, delay into depth, and the place that once wounded you into an indispensable part of the testimony of my faithfulness. I know there are wounds you still cover with silence. There are memories that only need a sound, a fash, or a season of the year to make your heart tighten. There are pains you do not fully speak to anyone, not because they are small, but because you have grown used to enduring quietly. But my beloved child, there is no dark place within you that I consider troublesome. I do not avoid what hurts you. I draw near to that place with the tenderness of a father, not to reopen the wound and make you hurt more, but to cleanse, bend up, and breathe new life into what once withered. As it is written, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 1:473. You are not someone wounded forever. You are someone being healed day by day. And what I heal within you will not only make your own heart lighter, it will make you a gentle refuge for others who once believed no one understood their pain. Remember Ruth, my child, the woman who walked out of a life full of loss without knowing that each small step of faithfulness was being written into a great story of redemption. She had no status with which to secure her future, no power to change her circumstances, no map to show her that the field where she would glean grain would become the place where grace opened. She had only a loyal heart, a decision to stay, and the humility to follow what was right before her. When she said to Naomi, "Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God," Ruth 1:16. She did not know that this faithful word would lead her to Boaz, to restoration, to a place in the line of David, and ultimately in the genealogy of Christ. Do you see? I do not need you to understand the whole picture in order for you to walk rightly within it. I only invite you to be faithful with today's step, because in my hands, one small step placed in faith can touch generations you have never met. Do not despise the things you call ordinary. Ruth was only gleaning grain, only doing what needed to be done to live through the day, only keeping kindness toward a grieving mother-in-law. Yet I place the heavenly within those very simple tasks. In the same way, there are things you are doing in secret that you think no one sees. A prayer in the night, a choice not to take revenge, a moment when you continue to love, though your heart is still hurting, a decision to live uprightly when there is no applause. I see them, and more than that, I am using them. As it is written, whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much. Luke 16:10. Your life is not shaped only by radiant moments, but also by the quiet things offered to me with a pure heart. Do not think that only great doors belong to my plan. Sometimes I hide an entire season of restoration within a small field that you enter through obedience. My beloved child, those who went before you in faith also had to wrestle with fear, waiting loss, and unanswered questions. Abraham left his country without yet seeing the fullness of the inheritance. Moses stood before the great sea while the enemy was behind him. David was anointed yet still passed through caves and pursuit. Mary carried the promise in a humble condition that many people did not understand. They were not sustained because the journey was easy, but because I am faithful as it is written, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13:8. The one who kept them is also keeping you. The one who made a way through the sea, opened life in a barren womb, and lifted the forgotten one in prison to the right position at the appointed time is the same one who is continuing to write your story today. Therefore, do not let shame convince you that you no longer have a place in the sacred story. Do not let wounds make you identify yourself as a ruined house that can never be rebuilt. I do not only restore what still appears intact. I am the one who makes new even the places that have been broken. I do not see you as a damaged draft, but as a song being tuned so it may rise in the true melody of grace. As it is written, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Joel 20:25. What you have lost does not exceed my power to restore. The years you thought had passed in vain can still be redeemed by me through greater depth, greater mercy, greater wisdom, and a heart that knows how to lift others more tenderly than before. From the place where I reign, I do not only see the you of today. I see you in the completion toward which my love is leading you. I do not see you as someone forever defined by wounds, but as one who will carry healing oil. I do not see you as someone who merely survived pain, but as one who will come forth with a gentle yet powerful voice, able to say to others, I have been kept, and so you too can hope. As it is written, He comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort others in any trouble. 2 Corinthians 1:4. That is how I turn the traces of suffering into a flow of mercy. Not by denying that you were ever hurt, but by causing the pain no longer to rule over you, and instead to be placed under the light of redemption. So continue to run your race with endurance. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you is not just a verse for Jesus, it is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. Do not run by comparison because your path was not written according to the rhythm of another person's steps. Do not run under the pressure to prove yourself because I called your name before you had anything to present. Do not run out of fear of being left behind because my hand does not let go of those who belong to me. Run with your eyes fixed on Christ, the author and finisher of faith. Hebrews 12:2. When you look at yourself too long, you will see what is lacking. When you look at your circumstances too long, you will see the waves. But when you look at me, you will remember that grace began this journey. Grace is sustaining every step, and grace will bring you to the place I have appointed. My beloved child, the fragments of your life are not outside my hand. Those who have gone before you do not look upon you with contempt, but as witnesses of my faithfulness, reminding your heart that this race is worth continuing. Your wounds are not a sentence of condemnation, but the place where I am revealing healing. Your small faithful steps are not small in my kingdom. Let your heart rest in this. I am weaving, healing, leading, and restoring. And one day when you look back from a clearer light, you will see that even the darker threads did not ruin the picture. They only made the radiance of my grace stand out more brightly, so that your life may become a living testimony that my love does not waste tears, does not forget the brokenhearted, and never stops halfway through the work I have begun. my beloved child. I have heard your name lifted up in a place deeper than every sound of the world. And I have not been silent. There have been times when you thought your prayer dissolved into emptiness, when you thought your sigh could not touch the heights of heaven, when you thought your name was lost among countless other stories unfolding beneath the sun. But my child, nothing that belongs to you is lost before me. I know your name, not as the world remembers a sound, but as a father knows his child, with a love that existed before the beginning. As it is written, the Lord knows the way of the righteous. Psalm 16. I know the road you walk, the places where you stopped because you were weary, the places where you once fell, and even the stretches where you kept trying to move forward, though your heart was nearly breaking. And because I know I am acting not noisily in the way you often expect, but steadily, precisely, and sacredly, setting back in place what was misaligned, gathering every detail into its rightful place, and quietly preparing each season for the completion my love has appointed from my eternal light. I do not only see you in the present moment. While you are still wrestling with things that have not yet become clear, I see the whole journey from the days when you did not understand why you had to pass through certain valleys to the seasons when you will stand in a maturity you cannot yet imagine today. You often see yourself through one failed day, one weary week, one decision you regret, one stretch of road that makes you think you have fallen behind everyone else. But I see you within the wider current of grace. I see a soul being refined, a hearting to rise again, and a faith putting down roots in the very place that once seemed barren. As it is written, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. Philippians 1:6. What I have begun in you is not a passing emotion that will later be abandoned. It is the work of a faithful Father, and I will not stop until it reaches the beauty I saw from the beginning. Therefore, do not despise your trembling steps. There are steps that may not look strong in the eyes of the world, but they are very precious before me because they are taken in faithfulness. There are days when you cannot run and you can only walk very slowly. There are days when you cannot sing and you can only breathe out a broken prayer. There are days when you do not feel victorious, yet you still do not return to the darkness that once held you captive. You think that is little, but I call it endurance. You think it is weakness, but I see strength being formed through dependence. As it is written, my strength is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9, you do not need to hide your weakness in order to be loved by me. Bring it to me so that my power may cover it. My grace may lift you up, and you may understand that the one kept by me is not the one who has never trembled, but the one who knows how to place their trembling into the Father's hands. I see the times you stumbled, yet refused to remain in the dust. I see the moments when you had to gather all your courage to stand up again, even though you were still hurting inside, even though no one around you realized how great that battle truly was. Heaven does not look upon you with contempt when you return to me in tears. Heaven rejoices when you choose not to let your fall become your home. As it is written, though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again. Proverbs 24:16, my beloved child, what defines you is not the number of times you have fallen, but whose hand has lifted you up and which direction you choose to walk afterward. If you turn your face toward the light, if you still tell me that you need me, if you still allow grace to pull you out of the low places, then you are moving in the right direction. Do not let the enemy of your soul use one moment of weakness to declare your entire life a failure. I have not spoken the final word, and my final word over you is life. Remember Eli, my child, the prophet who once stood on Mount Carmel and saw fire fall from heaven, yet afterward ran away in fear, sat beneath the broom tree, and asked that he might die. People may look at that exhaustion and say he had lost all strength, but I did not come to him with a cold rod of rebuke. I gave him rest, gave him food, gave him drink, and then led him to a place where he could hear my voice in a gentle whisper. As it is written, the journey is too much for you. 1 Kings 19:7. Do you see? I know when you need correction, but I also know when you need nourishment. I do not mistake exhaustion for rebellion. I do not break you when you have become weary. I draw near to restore you, to remind you that the journey is not over, and that there is still a portion of work, a portion of grace, and a portion of future I have placed before you. There are things you think no one sees, but I have seen them from beginning to end. I see the prayer you breathe out in the quiet room when the night has grown deep. I see the tear you quickly wipe away before stepping out to meet others. I see the times you wanted to answer with bitterness, but chose silence so that your heart would not grow dark. I see the hidden decisions no one applauds, the sacrifices that are never retold, and the small efforts you think have no value. But in my kingdom, no faithfulness is invisible. As it is written, your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Matthew 6:6. What you do in the secret place is not buried in forgetfulness. It is placed before me like the fragrance of a heart learning to love me not for an audience, but because of truth. Therefore, when you feel small, remember that I do not despise small things offered with a sincere heart. A sigh lifted toward me can carry more faith than a proud speech. One righteous choice in the darkness can shine brighter than great works done to be seen. One tear of repentance can be more precious than long words of self-defense. As it is written, the sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise. Psalm 51:17, my beloved child. I do not need you to build a perfect image before me. I desire a true heart, and when you bring me a true heart, even if it is still broken, I can do within it what pretense will never receive. I am acting in places you have not yet seen. There are arrangements quietly taking shape behind the curtain, people being prepared, doors being guarded for the right time, and promises growing in the soil of waiting. You may think everything is standing still, but a seed does not stop living simply, because you have not yet seen the sprout break through. As it is written, the kingdom of God is like a man who scatters seed on the ground. Night and day, whether he sleeps or rises, the seed sprouts and grows, though he does not know how. Mark 4:6-27. I do not need your anxiety in order to fulfill my purpose. I invite you to trust, to guard your heart, to follow what I revealed today, and to leave what belongs to me in my hands. There will be times when you ask, Father, when will this be complete? And I answer you with peace, not pressure. I am not hurried by your impatience, but neither am I delayed by your fear. I am on time in the right way and in the right order. As it is written, the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end and will not lie, though it delays. Wait for it. It will surely come. Habakkuk 2:3. Waiting in my hands is not abandonment. It is the place where I deepen roots, purify motives, strengthen faith, and enlarge the heart, so that when what I give arrives, you can carry it with maturity and not be led astray by it. Therefore, my beloved child, rise once more, But do not rise like someone who must prove they are not weak. Rise as one who knows they are being lifted. Keep walking, not because you already possess all the strength, but because my grace is sufficient for the next step. Stop seeing your quiet efforts as meaningless, for I've remembered them in love. Stop thinking that heaven only rejoices when you accomplish something great. Because each time you return, each time you choose the light, each time you refuse to remain in the dust, my heart rejoices over you. I have heard your name. I have seen your tears. I have received your prayers that could not become complete sentences. And I am working not to create a version of you according to the standards of the world, but to complete within you the holy, free, and radiant image I appointed from the beginning. You have not been abandoned halfway. You have not been forgotten in the process. You are not invisible before me. From the place of eternal light, I see you becoming, being healed, being rebuilt, learning to love, learning to trust, learning to walk with me with a faith truer than before. One day you will look back and understand that the silent nights also carried evidence. The tears also had a harvest, and the times you rose again were also part of the glory. And when what I began in you is completed in my love, you will know that I was never silent in indifference. I was silent like the craftsman working deeply, like the Father preparing what is good, like the faithful one weaving every small detail into a great song of grace, so that your life may become a testimony that I hear. I see, I keep, and I complete everything that belongs to you in my light. My beloved child, there are days when you think you are only tired, only in need of rest, only passing through an ordinary quiet season like everyone else. But I know the deeper thing that is moving within you. It is not merely that your body is exhausted, nor merely that your mind is too full of the cares of this life. It is that your soul is beginning to realize it was not created to live within a form too small for the calling I have placed inside it. You may learn how to reassure yourself. You may tell yourself that everything will be all right. You may smile before others as though nothing within you is fractured. But in the deepest hidden place, you still hear a quiet call. That call does not come to condemn you, but to awaken you. As I spoke through the prophet Isaiah, I have called you by your name. You are mine. 43. When a soul that belongs to me tries to live as though it belongs only to the standards of the world, it cannot fully rest because the imprint of heaven still remains within it. I do not blame you for the times you have withdrawn into yourself. I understand the seasons that taught you how to protect yourself, the wounds that made you afraid to reveal what is true, the disappointments that made you think it would be better not to hope too much. But my beloved child, do not confuse self-protection with peace, and do not call the numbness in your heart maturity. There is a calm that comes from faith, but there is also a silence that comes when the soul has grown too weary to speak. I am drawing near to you in that very place, not to break you, but to gently touch the parts you have hidden away for too long. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to still souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not quench. Isaiah 42:3. Do you see? I do not treat your tenderness as something shameful. I see in it a place that needs to be healed, upheld, and made bright again by my love. Perhaps you have lived many days like a lamp covered over, still carrying light, but not daring to shine, still carrying fire, but pressed beneath layers of fear, obligation, and compromise. You thought you were keeping yourself safe, but in truth, your soul has been aching because it has not been allowed to live according to what I have sown within it. I said, you are the light of the world, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Matthew 5:14-15. The light within you is not arrogance, not a craving for attention, not the noise of the ego. That light is the life I placed in you, so that you may love more purely, walk more courageously, speak the truth more gently, and become a witness that grace can make a weary soul radiant again. Remember Jonah, my beloved child. He heard my voice calling him, but because of fear, resistance, and an unwillingness to step into what was beyond his own will, he went down into a ship to flee from my presence. But the more he ran, the farther down he went, down to Joppa, down into the ship, down into the depths of the sea, and then down into the belly of the fish. That is the image of a soul trying to move against the holy calling within it. I did not abandon Jonah in that deep place, even in the belly of the fish, where it seemed like the end. Prayer rose up, and I opened a way for him to return. So it is with you. The seasons when you thought you had been swallowed by silence, by wrong choices, by delay, or by fear are not necessarily the final sentence. Often they are the very place where I awaken you and remind you that you were not created to run from the light, but to walk with me in that light. Therefore, do not regard the deep unease within you as an enemy. There are kinds of unrest that are the alarm bells of the soul, reminding you that you are living far from the true spring of water. When you try to fill the emptiness with busyness, with achievements, with praise, with connections that do not nourish life, that emptiness remains not to torment you, but to guide you back. As it is written, my soul thirsts for God, for the living God. Psalm 42:2. You cannot satisfy a spiritual thirst with things that only touch the surface. I do not want you to merely appear all right. I want you to be truly restored. I do not want you to merely survive each day. I want you to live in fullness, in uprightness, in the freedom of one who knows they are loved and called. I do not look at you as the world looks. The world looks at appearance, results, speed, prominence, and the things you can prove. But I look into your heart where there are tears no one has known, prayers that were never formed into words, and the times you wanted to give up, but still tried to take one more step. When Samuel looked at the sons of Jesse, he thought the tall, strong, impressive one must surely be the chosen one. But I said, man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. And I chose David, a shepherd still out in the fields, someone who had not even been called to the family table. Yet within his heart there was a song, worship, and a hidden flame. My beloved child, I also see those hidden parts within you. I see what others overlook. I see the light that has not yet been named. I see the version of you that was appointed in grace before you had the courage to believe in it. So do not continue living as though you must hide every crack in order to be loved by me. In the very place you think is weakest, I can cause life to flow. An earthen vessel can carry treasure, so that the surpassing power may belong to me and not to you. As it is written, we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God. 2 Corinthians 4:7. You do not need to become perfect before I can use you. You need to let me enter the places you have locked away. You need to allow my light to shine through the cracks you once felt ashamed of. For sometimes the very wound that has been healed becomes the place where others see my mercy most clearly. Today I am not calling you back with the thunder of threat, but with the whisper of love. Stop calling your shrinking back humility if it is truly fear. Stop calling numbness peace if it is truly a soul that has been starved for too long. Let me rekindle within you a pure longing, a gentle courage, and the faith that you can still live differently, brighter, truer, freer. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. Isaiah 61. I am not telling you to rise so you can prove that you are strong. I am telling you to rise because I am lifting you. I am not calling you out of darkness so you may be exposed in shame, but so you may step into the place where love heals everything that was once hidden, sets it in order again and turns it into light. For you are my child, not a soul forgotten in the empty spaces of your life. What you are feeling is not a sign that you have lost the way, but a sign that I am calling you back to the true path. That dissonance will no longer rule over you when you allow your heart to be brought back into my rhythm. Come near to me in truth, without dressing up your pain, without beautifying your weariness, without pretending that you are more all right than you truly are. I am gentle enough to embrace your truth and powerful enough to make it new. The light within you has not gone out, my beloved child. It is waiting for my breath. And when I breathe upon it, what once only smoldered will burn brightly again, not to consume you, but to light the way for you to enter the life I prepared beforehand in the peace, hope, and glory of my love. There are times when you think that feeling deeply is dangerous, because to feel deeply means you can also hurt deeply. But my beloved child, do not let old wounds teach you to despise the gift I have placed within you. A tender heart is not a weak heart. Tenderness placed in my hands becomes the very place where the gentlest power is revealed. Christ wept before the tomb of Lazarus, not because he lacked the power to call the dead back to life, but because true love is not indifferent to human pain. And then from that very place of tears, the call of resurrection rang out, Lazarus, come forth, John 11:43. Do you see? I do not need you to become cold in order to be strong. I can cause resurrection to come forth from the very place where you have wept the most. Let me teach you to distinguish between the accusation of darkness and the awakening of grace. Darkness says that you are too late, too broken, too far gone, too weary to begin again. Grace says that you are still called, still upheld, still able to return. Darkness pushes you into despair after showing you your wound. Grace touches the wound and then opens a path toward healing. Darkness makes you hide from me. Grace makes you run toward me, because you know that in me there is a mercy greater than everything you have not yet fulfilled. Therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans 8:1. When I call you to awaken, that call does not carry the chains of condemnation, but the key of freedom. And because I love you, I will not leave you in a life that is only just enough to keep you from collapsing. I did not create you to live quietly like a hidden lamp, nor did I form your soul merely to revolve around responsibility without any holy joy left within it. I want you to return to a life with depth where you know how to pray not as a duty, but as breath. How to love not from exhaustion, but from a full spring. How to work not merely to prove your worth, but to reflect faithfulness. How to rest not in the sin of avoidance, but in the peace of one who is kept by the Father. As it is written, in your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Psalm 16:11. The joy I give is not shallow, not noisy, not dependent on everything being perfect. It is the joy that grows from the roots of knowing that you are not abandoned. So today, as I touch the deepest place within you, do not close the door. When the light makes you see the parts that have grown cold, do not be afraid. When your heart begins to ache because you realize you have been living far from true life, understand that this is the beginning of your return. I do not stand before you with stones in my hands. I stand before you with arms wide open. I do not call you in order to make you shrink beneath shame, but to lift you up in truth. Awaken, my beloved child, not in panic, but in peace. Rise, not by your own strength, but by the grace that is holding you from within. Let Christ shine upon the places you have left in darkness for far too long. And you will see what I am awakening is not the old pain, but the new life waiting to burn brightly. You were not created merely to exist. You were created to live abundantly in me, to become tender without being weak, strong without becoming hardened, humble yet still radiant, and free in my love that never lets go. My beloved child, there is a truth I want to place deep within your heart today. You have not disappeared in the seasons when you thought you had lost yourself. You have not been destroyed by the days of weakness, have not been defined by the times you wandered, have not been erased from what I wrote in love from the beginning. Even when you bowed your head, even when you took the wrong path, even when you allowed fear to lead you into narrow places of darkness, I still saw you there, not as a lost soul, but as a child being called home. The beautiful things I placed within you have not died. Your tenderness has not gone out. The light within you has not been swallowed by darkness. The purity, the hope, the capacity to love, and the holy calling within you are only lying beneath layers of wounded dust, waiting for my hand to brush them clean and awaken them again. As it is written, though the righteous fall 7 times, they will rise again. Proverbs 24:16. Do you see? I did not say that the righteous never fall. I said they are not left in the fall. What defines you is not that you have never stumbled, but that grace still lifts you each time you thought you had no strength left to stand. Perhaps you once believed that after a certain number of failures, you would no longer be whole after a certain number of delays. You would no longer be worthy after certain seasons of silence. I would stop calling your name. But my beloved child, I do not love you with a love as fragile as the human heart. I do not withdraw my promise simply because you have days of weakness. I do not close the door simply because you once stood outside for too long. I am the one who said, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have drawn you with loving kindness. Jeremiah 31:3. It is that very loving kindness that is drawing you not with chains of fear, but with the gentle cords of life. When you feel within your heart a stirring to return, to rise, to face the truth, do not think it is the voice of condemnation. It is the voice of the Father calling you from far away back to the table. It is the sign that you still belong to me, that your soul still recognizes the sound of its origin. I saw the moment you stopped running. Perhaps no one else saw it, because on the outside you still looked like every other day. You still walked, still worked, still remained silent, still kept the deep things hidden in your heart. But I saw the moment something within you gently turned direction. When you no longer wanted to keep pretending. When you no longer wanted to call darkness a refuge. When you no longer wanted to live far from the true life I had set apart for you. That is a very holy moment. Even if it is not loud, heaven knows the value of a soul turning its face toward the light. I do not despise a small step, because I know there are small steps taken after many years of trembling. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall headlong, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. Psalm 37:23-24. You are not standing firm by yourself. My beloved child, my hand is beneath the very steps you thought were weakest. Remember Peter on the night he denied his teacher. He had once boldly declared that even if everyone else abandoned the Lord, he would not. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. You can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. But when the darkness of fear covered him, he denied the one he loved 3 times. The rooster crowed, and his heart broke open in tears. If the story had ended there, Peter could have locked himself inside the identity of a failure. But I did not allow the sound of denial to become the final word over his life. After the resurrection, Christ did not come to shame him before the wound of his past. He came to him by the seashore, made of fire, prepared bread and fish, and asked him with love, "Do you love me?" John 21:15-17. 3 times he had denied, and 3 times love opened the way for him to be restored. Do you see? I do not only forgive, I also entrust purpose again. I do not only erase mistakes. I call the good that was buried within you to rise once more. If Peter could step out of the night of denial and become a shepherd of the flock, then you too can step out of the seasons that have passed and receive again the living portion I never took away from you. Therefore, do not think that a new beginning always comes like a great event that makes everyone take notice. Many times a new beginning starts very quietly, like the first breath after a long cry, like a thin line of light at the edge of the sky before dawn truly breaks forth. The door I open for you does not necessarily appear with thunder, with a glorious sign, or with an immediate change in outward circumstances. Sometimes it opens right within your heart when you decide you will no longer agree with paralysis, no longer treat fear as your master, no longer allow the past to speak in my place about your future. As it is written, "Behold, I have set before you an open door which no one can shut." Revelation 38. That door is not only before you, it is also opening within the rhythm of your still beating heart. Within the small flame that has not gone out, within the very quiet prayer you thought I did not hear. I want you to understand that true life does not need to be loud in order to be real. Do not despise the hidden movements of your soul. A seed sown into the ground does not explode with sound when it begins to sprout. It quietly breaks its shell in the darkness and then pushes its tender shoot up through the soil by a strength no one can see. So it is with you. There are parts of you coming back to life before your circumstances have had time to change. There are new roots growing deep before branches and leaves appear. There are things I am doing in the secret place. And if you only look for outward applause, you may miss the miracle being born in silence. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Faith does not despise small things. Faith knows that one trembling step toward me can be the beginning of an entire journey of resurrection. Perhaps you thought resurrection was only for things that had completely died. But I tell you, resurrection also comes to souls that have grown cold, to hearts that have become weary, to faith that has lain still beneath the ashes, to holy dreams covered over by disappointment. When Christ said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live." John 11:25. This was not only a promise for the final day, but also a power that can touch your today. I can make a heart that has grown numb to feel again. I can make a soul that once became accustomed to hiding learn to stand in the light. I can cause the things you thought were lost to return in a form more mature, purer, deeper, and more enduring. What I restore does not always look exactly like what has passed. Often I return it to you as something refined in the fire, sifted free from illusion, anchored in truth, and covered with peace. My beloved child, what I am placing into your hands today is not a warning meant to make you tremble, but an invitation to step across the threshold. Step forward, even if it is only one step. Speak honestly with me. Even if your words are still awkward, open your heart. Even if you are still afraid, let me touch the place you have avoided for too long. Do not wait until every fear disappears before you return, because often fear begins to dissolve along the very journey you walk with me. Do not wait until you feel strong before you rise, because true strength does not come from forcing yourself not to be weak. It comes from allowing me to lift you when you are weak. My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. I do not require you to step through that door with the appearance of perfection. I only desire that you step through with faith that I am there. So lift your head with gentleness, not in pride, but in the certainty that you are still loved. The good things within you do not belong to some distant past. They are still waiting to be awakened in the present. The light you thought had been depleted is still smoldering. The heart you thought had lost its way still recognizes my voice. And in the very place where you once thought everything had ended, I am setting an opening that no one has the authority to close. Draw near to me, my child. Let your breath come back into harmony with the rhythm of grace. Let every heartbeat remind you that I am not finished with you. You were not created to wander forever. You were created to be found, restored, guided, and brought into true life from today onward. Do not call yourself someone who has lost everything. Call yourself one who is being rebuilt by me. Do not call your small step insignificant. Call it the first footprint on the road of return. And I, your Father, will walk with you through that door until what once grew cold within you burns brightly again. And you know with your whole soul that my life is still flowing, still calling, still making you new day by day. My beloved child, I have seen more than you ever dared to admit, even to yourself. I saw the moments when the truth stood right at your throat. But you swallowed it down because you were afraid of displeasing others. I saw the moments when you knew you needed to remain with what was right, to protect what was good, to stay faithful to the voice within your heart. Yet you turned away because you were tired, because you were afraid, because you had grown used to choosing the path with fewer collisions. I also saw the smiles you wore among the crowd. Smiles convincing enough for others to think you were all right, but not enough to hide from my eyes the vast emptiness within. But hear me clearly, my child. I do not look at you with contempt. I do not stand before your life as a judge, merely waiting to record the times you grew weak. I look at you with the patience of a father who knows well how wounds have formed over many seasons, and who also knows that true restoration must be nurtured in grace. It cannot be forced to bloom through fear. As it is written, a bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not quench. Isaiah 4:2-3. You are not a reed thrown away because it has bent. You are not a lamp rejected because its flame has grown weak. You are being sheltered by me from the fierce wind until what is still smoldering within you can burn brightly again. There are times when you blame yourself for having stayed silent too long, for having compromised too much, for not having been courageous sooner. But I want you to distinguish between repentance that leads to life and accusation that drags you into despair. Repentance is the light that allows you to see the way home. Accusation is the darkness that tells you there is no way left. I am not calling you to beat your own soul with bitter words. I am calling you to awaken, to rise, and to walk toward the truth in love. Godly sorrow brings repentance that leads to salvation and leaves no regret. 2 Corinthians 7:10. Therefore, when you recognize the things you have avoided, do not let that awareness become a chain. Let it become an awakening bell. Let it tell you that you are still alive, still able to hear the voice of conscience, still able to return to what is pure, braver, and truer. I want you to remember the son who left his father's house, taking his share of the inheritance, and believing that freedom meant going far from the love that had raised him. He squandered everything, lost his dignity, and fell so low into lack that he longed for the food of the pigs. But the miracle did not begin when he was already clean, already strong, already able to prove that he had changed. The miracle began when he came to himself and said in his heart that he would return to his father's house. Luke 15:17-24. Do you see? The moment of awakening is not the most shameful moment. It is the turning point of grace. And while he was still far away, the Father ran to him, embraced him, kissed him, clothed him with a new robe, placed a ring on his hand, and put sandals on his feet. The Father did not wait for him to finish presenting the indictment against his own life before showing mercy. Love ran ahead of explanation. So it is with you, my beloved child, when you realize that you have drifted far from what I desire for you. That is not proof that you are without hope. It is proof that the road home is opening before your eyes. But I also want you to understand that returning is not always one great leap that changes everything in a single day. Do not place upon your shoulders the burden of having to be healed immediately, courageous immediately, steady immediately. The world loves speed, visible results, and transformations that can be told as beautiful stories in only a few words. But I work more deeply like a gardener who tends the roots before looking for flowers. True healing does not merely correct the outward expression. It goes down into the place where you once learned to fear, where you once learned to be silent, where you once learned to smile while your heart was empty. I am not in a hurry with your soul. I patiently teach you one rhythm at a time. Today you stop avoiding one small truth. Tomorrow you dare to name one pain. Then you learn to say no to what makes you shrink. Then you learn to say yes to the light I set before you. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. Proverbs 40:18. Dawn does not become noon in a single second, yet it is still steadily overcoming the darkness. Remember Moses, my beloved child. When I called him from the burning bush, he did not step forward as a completely confident man. He carried the memory of failure, of fleeing from Egypt, of feeling that he did not have enough words, enough ability, or enough worthiness. He said that he was slow of speech, hesitant, unsure how he could ever face Pharaoh. But I did not cancel the calling because he trembled. I said, I will be with you. Exodus 3:12. And my presence, not Moses' perfection, became the foundation for the journey of deliverance. You may have been silent in the past, but that does not mean your voice has been taken from you forever. You may have turned away in one season, but that does not mean you cannot return and stand firm in the season to come. I am not searching for a child who has never been afraid. I am lifting up a child who trembles yet still learns to obey. And as you begin to step into that process, you will have to learn forgiveness, not only for those who wounded you, but also for yourself. There are people you have forgiven with your mouth, yet in your heart, you still carry them like a stone. There are also mistakes of your own that you keep repeating to yourself, as though punishing yourself is the only way to prove that you are truly sorry. But I do not ask you to live forever beneath the punishment that Christ has already borne in your place. Forgiveness does not mean denying what happened. It does not mean calling wrong right. It does not mean returning to what is harmful. Forgiveness means placing final judgment into my hands, so your soul is no longer bound to the wound as though to a sorrowful altar. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Ephesians 4:32. When you receive forgiveness from me, you will gradually gain the strength to let go of the chains the past has used to pull you backward. I know there are memories that will not disappear simply because you prayed once. There are defensive habits that do not dissolve immediately simply because you want to live differently. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our faith community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you is not just a verse for Jesus, it is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. But each time you choose the light, each time you pause before running away, each time you speak the truth, even while your voice still trembles, each time you face what is before you instead of hiding it, a part of you is being rebuilt. Do not despise small but honest decisions. A wall is built stone by stone. A life is healed step by step in obedience. A heart is softened again each time it allows me to touch it, instead of locking itself away. As it is written, do not despise the day of small beginnings. Zechariah 4:10. What is small in my hands is never meaningless. One sincere prayer can open a new season. One decision not to return to the old path can break an entire chain of long-standing bondage. So, my beloved child, be gentle with yourself. But do not keep lulling yourself to sleep. Be patient with the process, but do not use the process as an excuse to remain where you were. I do not condemn you, but neither do I desire for you to live beneath the measure of life I paid the price to give you. Let me teach you to speak at the right time, to remain in the right place, to leave what must be left, and to open your heart in the right way. Let me fill the emptiness you have tried for years to cover with laughter, work, busyness, and untrue words of "I am fine." I am the one who heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147:3. I do not merely see the cracks. I know how to pour oil into them. I do not merely hear your silence. I know how to call your voice back. Therefore, today you do not need to run quickly in order to prove that you have changed. You only need to turn your face toward me and take one true step. Begin with honesty. Tell me where you have grown tired, where you have been afraid, where you have pretended, where you have allowed your heart to remain empty for too long. I will not break you in my hands. I will not quench what is still smoldering. I will breathe life into the remaining flame. I will teach you to rise without hating yourself. I will teach you to repent without despairing. I will teach you to forgive without losing wisdom. I will teach you to love without betraying your own soul. And then day by day, you will realize you have not been rejected. You are being preserved. You have not been abandoned in what has passed. You are being let out. You are not only returning to the Father's house, you are returning to yourself in my light, where truth no longer frightens you. Because that truth is fully held by mercy that never runs dry. My beloved child, there are things you once regarded as signs of failure, but in my eyes, they are evidence that your soul is still alive. Many times you have blamed yourself for being tired, for being tender, for still carrying empty spaces you do not know how to name, for still having within you a quiet thirst that nothing outside can satisfy. But I want you to hear this with a peaceful heart. A soul that has become completely deadened would no longer long for the light. A flame that has gone out entirely would no longer ache when a cold wind blows over it. A heart that is fully given up would no longer be restless over what it is lost. The very fact that you still feel the lack, still feel the ache, still desire something purer, deeper, and truer is a sign that I am still calling the life within you to rise. As it is written, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Matthew 56. That thirst does not come to humiliate you, nor does it come to prove that you are ruined. It comes as a quiet line of guidance leading you away from dry wells and back to the water that never runs dry. I know you have feared your own fragility. You thought that if others saw the wounds within your heart, they would see you as weak, lacking faith, lacking stability, lacking the ability to move forward. So you learn to build walls. You learn to speak less. You learn to maintain a calm appearance. You learn to hide the places that still hurt beneath busyness and a gentle smile. But my child, a heart locked away for too long does not only keep pain from entering, it also keeps my love, healing, and light from touching it. You were not created to become a cold fortress. You were created to become a temple where my presence dwells, where the cracks are no longer something shameful, but the very places where grace shines in. When the Apostle Paul heard me say, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness," 2 Corinthians 12:9, It did not mean that weakness is the place where you are abandoned. It means that precisely where you cannot save yourself, you can recognize my hand most clearly. Remember the woman who had suffered from the issue of blood for 12 years. She had spent all she had endured much pain, been isolated by her condition, and lived on the margins of the community as one who was not allowed to touch anyone and whom no one wanted to touch. But in that exhaustion, there was still a very small spark of longing within her. If she could only touch the garment of Christ, she would be healed. She did not come with an appearance of strength. She did not step into the crowd as someone with enough honor to be noticed. She came trembling with quiet faith, with a heart that had suffered for too long, but had not yet surrendered hope. And when she touched his garment, power flowed out. Healing came. And Christ did not allow her to disappear into shame. He called her daughter and said that her faith had made her well. Mark 5:5-3-4. My beloved child, I see you in the same way. I do not only see your wound. I see the small faith that is still reaching through the crowd of fear to touch life. Therefore, do not despise the small movements within your heart. Perhaps today, you do not yet see yourself completely changed, but you have learned to pause before allowing panic to carry you away as it once did. Perhaps you cannot yet name peace, but one morning you wake and find your heart a little lighter, as though an invisible hand had removed some stones from your chest during the night. Perhaps you have not walked very far, but you have not returned to the old path as quickly as before. These things are not accidental. They are signs of restoration, rising in the secret place. A young tree makes no sound when its roots take hold deep in the soil. Yet life is still at work. A small stream is not as loud as a great waterfall, yet it can still soften dry ground. I am leading you in this way, gently and steadily. As the Good Shepherd in the Psalm said, He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. Psalm 23:2, I do not drag you forward with haste. I lead you with the rhythm of peace. You once thought you had to become perfect before you could be loved. Oh, before you could be used, strong before you were allowed to step into what I had prepared. But I tell you, honesty opens the door to grace more than false perfection ever could. I do not need you to bring me a soul decorated with outward stability. I want you to bring me yourself with the unfinished places, the unanswered questions, the wounds that are still tender, and the longings that are still uncertain. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise. Psalm 51:17. You do not need to hide before the one who knows everything and still loves you. You do not need to perform strength before the one who can command dry bones to hear and live again. I want you to learn how to love again, but not with a kind of love that betrays your own soul. Not the kind of love that requires you to deny your pain, swallow the truth, or lose your dignity in order to hold on to a connection. The love I teach begins with honesty, is led by wisdom, is guarded by peace, and is nourished by mercy. A heart that has been wounded may fear opening again. But when that heart is placed in my hands, tenderness is no longer a danger. It becomes good soil for the seed of life. Perfect love casts out fear. 1 John 4:7-18. You do not need to become hard in order to be safe. You need to draw nearer to me so that your gentleness will not be exploited. Your sensitivity will not be dismissed, and your love will no longer flow from lack, but from my fullness. There are days when I heal you through very ordinary things. A quiet moment that no longer frightens you, a short but honest prayer, a tear falling without shame, a decision to leave What does not nourish your soul? A time when you choose rest instead of punishing yourself with overload. Do not think these things are too small to belong to a miracle. I often place life in humble forms so that only a listening heart can recognize it. A tiny mustard seed can grow into a tree. A little bread and fish can feed a multitude. One plea, remember me, spoken on the cross can open the door to paradise. Therefore, every small step you take in truth is precious before me. Do not despise the day of small beginnings. Zechariah 4:10. Because small things in my hands can become the foundation of a rebuilt life. So, my beloved child, do not call your thirst a failure. Call it an invitation to return to the true water. Do not call your fragility something to be hidden. Bring it to me, so that my power may make it a place where grace is revealed. Do not look down on the mornings when your heart feels a little lighter. The moments when you know how to pause. The days when you realize you are no longer being swept away by the old rhythm of life. I am working within you without haste, without harshness, without leaving the work unfinished. I lead you step by step, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, so that you are not merely changing outward habits, but being transformed from the very roots within. And when you look back, you will understand that the places that once made you feel weak were not the places where I abandoned you. They were the very places where I bent down closest, placed my hand upon your soul, and whispered, "You are still alive. You are still loved. You are still being restored. And my water is still enough to refresh every dry place within you, my beloved child. There is something quietly growing within you, so gentle that if you live too hurriedly, you may overlook it. It is not a great explosion of miracle, nor a radiant sign that makes the whole world stop and look. It is life returning to the places you once thought had grown cold. It is the ability to still hope after many seasons of weariness. It is the moment you realize that you do not need to be perfect in order to keep walking forward. I want you to understand that in my eyes, the fact that you are still standing here, still longing to return, still thirsting for the light, still lifting your heart, even with one very quiet prayer, is already a miracle unfolding. For faith does not always begin with a strong voice. Sometimes it begins with a trembling breath that refuses to let go of my hand. As it is written, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. What you have not yet seen with your eyes, I am sowing by the Spirit what you cannot yet touch with your hands. I am causing to grow in the hidden depths of your soul. Do not despise the small faith that is holding you. My beloved child, there are days when that faith does not look like a great fire, but only like a fragile line of light at the end of a tunnel. Yet a single ray of light in my hands is still enough to lead a soul out of darkness. You once thought you had drifted too far, been lost too long, become too weak to ever return. But the very moment you began to believe that you could still come back, a door opened within your heart. I do not require you to understand everything before you step forward. I do not demand that you have complete evidence before you are allowed to hope. I only invite you to place one foot into trust, because we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. There are paths that only appear when you begin to walk. There are waters that only part when your feet have touched the edge of the sea. There are promises that only begin to shine when you stop standing still in fear and begin walking with me. Remember Abraham, who heard my voice calling him to leave his homeland, his relatives, and all that was familiar to go to a land he did not yet clearly know. He did not hold in his hand a complete map of the future, nor did he possess visible proof to explain to everyone why he dared to go. But he believed that the one who called him was faithful, and that faith turned a quiet departure into the beginning of a great covenant. By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to a place that he would receive as an inheritance. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. And he went out, not knowing where he was going. Hebrews 11:8. Do you see? I do not always show you the entire journey from the beginning, because I want you to learn that the deepest assurance is not found in controlling every stage of the road, but in knowing that I am walking with you. Faith is not the denial of uncertainty. Faith is placing your heart in the one who knows all things. And when the light within you is kindled again, you will realize that it is not only for you. Just as one candle can light another without losing its own flame, your life will also become a place where others can see hope. You do not need to wait until you are completely healed before you can bring gentleness to someone else. You do not need to tell a perfect story before you can bear witness to my mercy. Sometimes the honesty of a person who is still being healed becomes the warmest light for someone else who is cold. I have said you are the light of the world. Matthew 5:14. That light is not something you manufacture by your own strength, nor is it the kind of radiance of prominence that people chase after. It is my life reflected through you. It is love that has passed through wounds without allowing those wounds to make it bitter. It is peace in the very days when you thought you had nothing left but storms. Therefore, my child, keep walking with gentleness and courage. Do not wait until you no longer tremble before you step forward. Do not wait until every question is answered before you believe. Do not wait until you are perfect before allowing my light to shine through your life. I am doing something deeper than the outward appearance of change. I am restoring at the root the belief that you can still return, still live anew, still become a source of light for other souls without losing yourself. Each day you wake and choose not to give up is a quiet song before me. Each time you lift your heart, even before seeing the result, it is a seed of faith. And I, your Father, will not let that seed die in the soil. I will water it with grace, shelter it with mercy, and cause it to grow in the time I have appointed. Then you will see what began as a small ray of light within your heart will become a lamp to guide the way, not only for you, but also for those who need to know that they too can come home into my love that never runs dry. My beloved child, let your heart grow still in this moment. For not everything of great importance comes with thunder across the heavens or events that shake the earth. There are words I place before your soul very softly, like a breeze passing through an open door, so gentle that the hurried may overlook them, yet so deep that they are enough to turn an entire life around. I do not always awaken you with intensity. Often I call you through stillness, through a sense within your heart that the time has come when you can no longer delay. when you can no longer continue living between two streams, when you must choose what you truly belong to. There are doors in your life opened by my mercy. But my child, a door does not remain open forever in order to nurture hesitation. Time is also a grace, but that grace is not an endless land where you may keep avoiding the holy call. As it is written, my spirit shall not strive with man forever. Genesis 16:3. This does not mean my love has diminished, but that I honor your choice. And every choice has its season, its threshold, its moment when the soul must answer. I do not say this to make you afraid and panic, but to awaken within you a beautiful seriousness. For true love does not only comfort you when you are hurting. True love also reminds you when you are falling asleep before the light. A compassionate father does not silently smile while watching his child walk closer and closer to the edge of a deep place. I call you. I remind you. I draw you by mercy because I know that delay can become such a familiar house that you forget you are being held captive. At first you only postpone a prayer. Then you postpone repentance. Then you postpone one right decision. Then you begin to grow accustomed to living incompletely. Accustomed to knowing where the light is while still not stepping into it. That is why my word says today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Hebrews 3:15. I say today not to weigh you down with pressure, but to deliver you from the illusion that tomorrow is always in your possession. My beloved child, hardness of heart rarely begins with a loud rebellion. It often begins with very small turns away. One time you know what is right, but choose silence. One time you hear my voice, but tell yourself later. One time you feel the light touching a wound, but you pull the curtain down because you do not yet want to face it. Then little by little, what once grieved you, because it separated you from me, no longer grieves you. What once made your conscience tremble slowly becomes ordinary. What once stirred in you a longing to return becomes covered by busyness, reasons, habits, and self-protection. My child, I do not want you to lose that holy sensitivity. Guard your heart above all else, for from it flow the springs of life. Proverbs 423. When your heart can still tremble at my voice, that is a gift. Do not take that gift lightly. Do not allow today's call to become a distant echo that tomorrow you no longer recognize. Remember the people of Israel in the wilderness. Those who saw the sea part, saw bread fall from heaven, saw water pour out from the rock, and yet many times still allowed their hearts to grow hardened before me. They did not lack signs and wonders. They lacked a faith willing to obey. Today, they wanted deliverance, but they feared the journey of transformation. They wanted the promised land. Yet they still longed for Egypt in their memory. And because of prolonged hardness of heart, a generation wandered in the wilderness until what should have been a path to pass through became the place where they were held back. Do you see, my beloved child, the danger is not only found in obvious darkness. The danger is also found in living too long outside what I have called you to enter. I do not want you merely to stand near the promise. I want you to enter it with faith, with obedience, with a heart no longer divided. There will be times when you stand before a boundary clearer than you realize. It will no longer be a great place where you can hold on to the light while still nourishing the darkness. It will no longer be a place where you can call delay caution, avoidance, peace, or compromise wisdom. The light does not demand that you pretend you have no wounds. The light invites you to bring your wounds out so they may be healed. Darkness does the opposite. It tells you to cover them, postpone, hide, and become accustomed to numbness until you no longer long to be free. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. Proverbs 4:18. You must choose which path will be nourished within you. What you choose today is not merely a single action. It is the direction your soul is being trained to follow. I know you may fear the light, because the light will reveal what you have hidden for too long. But understand this: my light is not like the condemning gaze of the world. My light exposes in order to heal, not to humiliate. When David was confronted by the prophet Nathan after his sin, he could have hardened his heart, justified himself, or used his power to evade the truth. But when the word of exposure reached him, he said, "I have sinned against the Lord." 2 Samuel 12:13. That very moment, though painful, opened the way back to mercy. Psalm 51 was not born from a proud soul, but from a broken heart that dared to stand in the light and ask me to create within it a clean heart. My beloved child, there are confessions that hurt you in the first moment, but save you from many years of living in chains. Therefore, do not confuse my patience with permission to remain forever in what keeps you far from me. I am slow to anger, rich in loving kindness and full of mercy, but mercy is not an invitation to delay forever. Behold, now is the favorable time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. 2 Corinthians 6:2. I do not want you to use tomorrow as a hiding place for today's obedience. If you know you need to forgive, begin bringing your heart to me. If you know you need to let go of something that is darkening your soul, stop calling it a refuge. If you know you need to return to prayer, to truth, to purity, to the calling I have placed within you, do not wait until circumstances force you to your knees. Kneel because love is still calling you gently. Perhaps you ask, what if I am still afraid? What if I am not strong enough? What if I step into the light and see too many broken places? I answer you with the very word I have given. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. Yes, I will help you. Isaiah 41:10. I do not call you into the light, and then leave you standing alone beneath the weight of truth. I call you into the place where I can lift you, wash you clean, heal you, and teach you how to walk again. What I desire is not a hurried reaction born from fear, but a true return born from trust. Come as you are, but do not remain as you were. Come with your trembling, but allow me to teach you courage. Come with your delays, but allow me to place within you a spirit that knows how to answer. My beloved child, today is a gift. This breath is a gift. The sensitivity still remaining within your heart is a gift. Do not let that gift pass by as though it were ordinary. There is a door opening within your soul, not to threaten you, but to welcome the knife. Step into the light, where truth is no longer an enemy, because truth is covered by my mercy. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. Step out of the darkness of avoidance where you have stayed long enough where your heart has grown weary from becoming accustomed to indifference. I am not calling you to take away your joy. I am calling you to return to a life deeper, purer, and more enduring. Hear me today. Soften your heart today. Return today, and when you place your first step across that threshold, you will realize that I am not standing at the end of the road to punish you. I have been standing at the door itself with arms wide open, waiting for you to enter the light, that mercy prepared for you long ago, with the heat. Heat, the you, get the heat.